So from quads to fours, from 2 blades to 1 each. This is the Visitors Challenge Cup. This is an intermediate event for quadsless fours between London Rowing Club and Edinburgh University on the Berkshire Station, and Thames Rowing Club and Radley Mariners on the Buckinghamshire Station. Little bit of steering here being warned by the umpire Richard Phelps. That's the Thames Rowing Club and Radley Mariners crew that are having to make a few adjustments there, Neil.
They are, and they haven't fully adjusted. They're not being warned, but they're a little bit further away from the Buckinghamshire booms than, although they're coming back closer to them now. Yes, that steering certainly cost them at a critical point in the race. And you can see that London Rowing Club and Edinburgh University have stretched out now. They've taken advantage and stretched out to a reasonably comfortable lead already. They've got clear water.
Yeah, and it's definitely not the kind of crew you want to give any advantage to off the start. This London Rowing Club crew and Edinburgh University crew is just littered with international athletes. You've got Matthew Curtis in the stroke seat, who doubled up with James Temple in the 3 seats back at the Under-23 World Championships in the lightweight double scull. Dale Flockhart as well. All 3 of these guys, Edinburgh or Edinburgh alumni. Dale's still studying there, also an ex-Under-23 lightweight athlete. And they're joined by Nathan O'Reilly, who, again, another Henley winner in the Prince Albert Challenge Cup. I mean, I think if you're going up against a crew like that, Neil, you really need to stick with them off the start.
Indeed. Although I think one of the challenges that Thames and the Radley Mariners have had this year is, sadly, all 4 of this crew have had long COVID over the last year. So, for them, making it to the start line of Henley has been an achievement in itself, and testament to how much that they've had to draw on their resilience over the last year. So obviously a very, very tough year for this crew. They've collectively isolated for 8 months, and that will have had a dramatic effect on the ability that they've had to train over the last year. So great to see them on the water, and sufficiently fit and well now to be racing at Henley, but clearly incredibly tough to be competitive, having had that kind of experience over the last year.
Yeah, the Thames Rowing Club crew and Radley Mariners crew. We must note Radley Mariners, which is the old alumni of Radley School, of which all of this crew, I believe, are. We've got 3 of them studying at Oxford, the bowman and the stern pair, and then in the middle of the boat, Tom Kirk, who's at Durham University. No, apologies, Harvey Buchan, who's at Durham University. Apologies, Tom, I see you're at Oxford. But now we're looking on the screen there, you can see the 3 London athletes sandwiching Dale Flockhart in the 2 seat in his baby blue Edinburgh Lycra. And yeah, all lightweights or former lightweights in this crew. Some of them no longer lightweight, so they're doing very well to demonstrate this kind of power here, Neil.
Yeah, and good Henley experience in this crew as well. Nathan O'Reilly in the bow seat has won at Henley before. He won the Prince Albert with Newcastle University, and James Temple in the 3 seat. He was a winner at Henley in 2016 in Prince Albert with Edinburgh University, and is a GB lightweight sculler, 2 Under-23 World Championship and 2 Senior World Cup. So good pedigree in this crew, both in Henley terms and international terms, and you can see they've turned that pedigree into a very significant margin in this race.
Yeah, a big old margin, but like you say, great to even have the Thames and Radley Mariners composite here with all of the challenges that they faced through COVID, and again, all old school friends that have come together to race at this magnificent regatta, and that's, we see a lot of crews that come back together just to race at this prestigious event, and great that they've got the opportunity to do that in this year. But yeah, just trailing to the littering of experience that we've got in this crew from London Rowing Club and Edinburgh University. I know certainly the stern three of this crew all at university together up in Edinburgh. Multiple medals at the British University Championships, and they've teamed up with the bowman, who over 10 years of age, more senior to the stern three of this crew, Nathan O'Reilly. So he's the experienced hand, the other Henley winner, guiding them down the course. And I'm sure he's kind of probably giving them some bits of calming advice as they sort of move through the enclosures here.
Yeah, they're paddling now, really. They're at 22. I think what's quite interesting about this crew is there's a bit of a pause at the finish. You can see there, as they release the blade, there's just that fractional pause with the hands at the finish before they then allow the hands to go back out and the body rocks over. We see some crews maintaining greater fluidity around the back end and just more of a sort of binary speed in and out. This is, I think this is a focus on just trying to let the boat run off the finish, just pausing at the point in time at which the boat is travelling at maximum hull speed, just to try and get that maximum amount of run as possible. It's quite noticeable.
Yeah, it is very noticeable, and I think there's been a concerted kind of change in recent years throughout a lot of programmes to switch from this fast hands away to this kind of pause at the finish. You see it a lot with Oxford Brookes University, who we'll see a lot throughout the regatta, right? They row with this very distinct style of a pause around the finish, and I think a lot of people adopting this very similar method, but it's working. You know, it's giving them a lot of run into these final few strokes. And they will live to see another day of the Visitors Challenge Cup, London Rowing Club and Edinburgh University across the line with little challenge from the Thames Rowing Club and Radley Mariners crew, who will just be embarking on the final 10 strokes of their Henley Royal Regatta. Just as the sun comes out, Neil, we've just had a bout of sunshine be thrust upon us after this morning's rain. I'm sure the crews will be enjoying that.
Absolutely. We had rain this morning, which just wasn't in the script. Good to see the sun out now.